Hello, peeps. Welcome, Embers, to the channel for Teyvat Hangout, episode 15. Episode 15, here we are. What's up? How's everybody in chat doing? I see you, Socklucard, Nat, Brayden, Ingenuity, Zombie. I see you guys. Greatly appreciate you guys coming through for this one. So, I have not done a Teyvat episode, well, Teyvat Hangout in a while. Zion, I see you. So I haven't done one in a while. And part of the reason was that I was trying to decide how to go about this for the future. Sarah, see you. What's up? What's up? And I have decided that I will not be having Valk co-host anymore. And it's not like anything like bad or anything. We're still buddies. It's just that Valk has moved on from Genshin for the most part with TOF. And you know, I'm not trying to keep him covering Genshin content if he just doesn't care about it anymore. So I don't know if I'm going to be going and finding a new co-host anytime soon. I still will be bringing guests in the future. Don't worry about that. I do have plans to bring future guests, but I might just be running it solo for a little while until then, you know what I mean? So don't worry too much about it. Now, we still have a lot to talk about. Yeah. We still have, no Valk for future Teyvat Hangouts. I might bring him every once in a while as a guest, but he won't be like a co-host anymore because Valk has moved on to greener pastures in the TOF fields, and he's really loving it. So I'm just going to let him do his thing, and I'm going to sit here and do my thing in Genshin. Nothing but love for Valk, though. All right? So, anyway, we have a lot to talk about. I mean, last Teyvat Hangout was what, 3.0, like a week or two after it came out. So we have literally almost all of 3.1 to talk about. Not to mention the characters coming in 3.2. We got to talk about Anniversary as well. Not to mention, you know, we're getting an anime. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about the GameSpot article. Share a few of my viewpoints on it and see how peeps are feeling. But yeah, this Teyvat Hangout is gonna be me solo today. It's gonna be pretty interactive with you guys in the chat, so feel free if you guys have any inputs, any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I tried to make sure that the latency was super low, so I should be able to respond to you guys in a very quick fashion. All right, but anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it. First episode by myself, no co-host. So, here we go, Teyvat Hangout number 15. And let's get straight into it. So, first thing that we need to talk about. Oh my god, I'm already messing up. There we go. So, first thing we need to talk about, Anniversary. Anniversary, let's go. So, we have finally hit the 2-year anniversary for Genshin Impact. And it actually seems pretty tame right now. I haven't seen too many people really complaining about the anniversary as a whole. We have received, well, we're going to receive 20 roles overall. Plus, we did have an anniversary event, you know, of Bard and Bruise, the, you know, Wine Laser Fest in Mondstadt. And it was actually a pretty good event, but we'll get into that later. But other than that, though, I want to say that I'm pretty okay with the anniversary. I know a lot of people still wish that they gave more roles than they technically did last year, because we're only really getting about the same amount that we did last year after we had to, you know, review bomb them. But for the most part, it seems like the community is really tame this year. But I don't think it's the fact that the community is tame because they're happy. I think the community is tame because they're just tired of like dealing with Hoyoverse. So they kind of just moved on and expected that we weren't really going to get anything crazy in the way of rewards. And personally, I'm okay with it too. I'm not really here to like, you know, cause any drama. I'm kind of just keeping to myself. I didn't expect that much you know, from Hoyoverse, and honestly, I'll take 20 rolls. 20 rolls is 20 rolls at the end of the day. As long as it helps me get a character, I'm not tripping too much, you know? And I know a lot of people like to go and sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, Hoyoverse can definitely you know do more, and at the end of the day, yes, could they do more? 100%. I mean, they are a billion-dollar company now, but you know, Hoyoverse is Hoyoverse. They're gonna do what they want to do. I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses for them, but at the end of the day, I do enjoy this anniversary much more than I did last year. And yeah, they did have Twitch drops for this anniversary, but they've kind of been having Twitch drops for every patch since I think the late 2.0 patches. So honestly, I don't really see the Twitch drops as anything really special. But I mean, if people are taking those as anniversary awards, I'm not gonna sit there and stop them. I mean, whatever makes you happy is all that matters at the end of the day. But for the most part, it seems like everything is tamed. Now, while we did avoid drama directly for the anniversary, there is quite a bit of drama that did come out this anniversary for the GameSpot article, as many of you probably already witnessed on YouTube. So yeah, we still got a little bit of drama this anniversary, even though it really wasn't from the player base trying to, you know, get more rewards from Hoyoverse, which was kind of surprising. I guess whenever you think that everything's safe, something always comes back to get you. Exactly, yeah, we thought we dodged it, but the drama was like, psych. But overall, anniversaries seem pretty good. I don't think anybody's been too upset with anything that's been happening as of late. And honestly, the anniversary event was pretty good as well. So moving on, let's go into the next topic. Yes, patch 3.1. Patch 3.1 has been, honestly, patch 3.1 has been another step up for this current Archon quest in Sumeru. I will not lie. I was doing the Archon quest for this patch, and literally the first one had like 3 cutscenes. The second one also had like 3 cutscenes, and I was sitting there like, man, this is a lot of cutscenes. Are we watching a movie like this patch? But I was loving it. Actually, I think the second one had 4 cutscenes. Technically, there was a lot of cutscenes this Archon quest. But honestly, Hoyoverse, keep it up. Cutscenes are super fun to watch, and all of them were actually very entertaining this patch. I will have to say that. But we got to learn a lot about, you know, Nahida, Scaramouche. I'm not trying to get too much into it because I know some people may have still not done the Archon quest. So I'm gonna respect you, you know, gonna give you your time to do yours, so don't worry about spoilers here. But I will say this, you had a week. And that's usually my rule. After a week, it's on you. But anyway, the Archon quest has been pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And Hoyoverse has really been delivering on it. For 3.1, I was a bit, I was honestly surprised how long the second Archon quest was. Sorry, not 3.1, 3.0. For the 3.0 Archon quest, the second one where we were stuck in the dream loop with Nahida, I was actually surprised how long that was. But I feel like they really tightened it up with 3.1's Archon quest. And honestly, having a longer Archon quest is not bad. Because let's be real. Compared to the Inazuma Archon quest, this feels much better. So I'm not really sitting here complaining that the Archon quests are long. I'm just like, I was just surprised, you know, going from Inazuma, which was pretty fast paced, to the Sumeru one where it's, you know, taking its time, developing the story, making sure we get to learn about the characters, and actually making the story sequences connect to each other so they actually all make sense. So it's actually been a big roller coaster. And I have to say, for those of you who have done the Archon quest, I don't know if I was the only one who felt this, but I felt like Hoyoverse was hitting on a lot of like big real world issues such as segregation, discrimination. And this isn't like just because, you know, I'm a black guy and I'm viewing it from, no, like a lot of people deal with so many different like forms of this. It's not just me, it's, you know, a bunch of people, different walks of life. Honestly, it really doesn't matter who you are. You kind of face it in your own way and form. So it was kind of nice to see Hoyoverse like tackling these issues in these quest lines. And it was actually really refreshing. I'm not gonna lie. They were sending really great messages. They were, you know, just, it was a beautiful story as a whole. And I can't wait to see how Hoyoverse like brings it all together and, you know, wraps it up. Because how I like to put this is like an analogy of Hoyoverse has been setting this table, right? They brought out the nice silverware. They got the table set. It looks great. And then they started, so that was like 3.0, you know, they just started setting the table. It looked amazing. You're like, what is this? What am I going to be eating here tonight? You know, 3.1 comes in, right? These are the meals. So they start bringing out the lobster. They start bringing out the A5 Wagyu, man. You know what I mean? Like some of this food that you've like, oh, where'd you guys get this food? And then you're just sitting there eating like a 10-course meal of all these like hits of like meals. And you're just like sitting there, delicious, amazing. Now, all Hoyoverse has to do with 3.2 is bring the dessert. That's it. They just need to bring that dessert, put the cherry on top, and it's over. This Sumeru questline can easily be one of the greatest story quests they have ever told in Genshin Impact, as long as they bring it home within the next patch. And honestly, if they keep up what they've already been doing, they're set. Like they set the table, they've served the main course. All they gotta do is put the dessert in front of us and let us finish up the meal. You know what I mean? So Hoyoverse, it's literally in your ball. Sorry, it's in your court. I hope they deliver. But I have to say, the story has been really, really good. I've loved all the characters, even the characters I was sitting there like hesitant about with 3.1 really brought them to light. It's been a dope time for sure. And I have to say, the Sumeru Archon quest is shaping up to be amazing. It really is. So I honestly can't even wait to see the conclusion when patch 3.2 drops. I might actually just have to like day one play the Archon quest because I don't even want to be spoiled. And normally I wait, but I need to know what happens to finish the story because the story has just been that on point. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Hoyoverse brings it all together. And I hope it's the same for all of you guys out there, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so moving on to the next topic. Oh, perfect. Of Ballad and Bruise. So this is basically the anniversary event. Last year, it was the Moonchase Festival, I believe. This year is the Mondstadt One Laser Fest, aka Oktoberfest, but for Mondstadt. And I gotta say, this has been a really, really good story quest as well, and event. The mini games were interesting. While they weren't all really my cup of tea for enjoyment, I did actually have a fun time memeing around with them for sure. And none of them were really all that difficult, so they were pretty easy to get. Not to mention, the story behind this event was actually really, really heartwarming. I actually enjoyed it a lot, to the point I actually like teared up at the end. And again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I will say that they did do a very good job here as well. Not to mention, you just get to interact with like all the Mondstadt characters. And it's a really, really good time. If you haven't done it and you have, you know, one of your favorite Mondstadt characters that you haven't seen in the story for a bit, please do it. It's a great time. Everybody from Mondstadt is literally there. I like double check to make sure. And yes, every Mondstadt character has a role to play in this event. So if your favorite character is Bennett, there's a moment for you. Noelle, there's a moment for you. Even Sucrose, there's a moment for you. So everybody's favorite Mondstadt character is, you know, playing a minor role, which is honestly kind of cool because I was wondering how Hoyoverse was going to do it with such a big cast of characters going into the future. How are they going to like incorporate, you know, past characters we know and love? Now, sure, they don't get their own like big story for them individually, but the fact that you get to actually like see your favorite characters in an event every once in a while, I feel like is probably the best they can do at this time. And it kind of makes sense. As the roster gets bigger, more and more characters are going to fight for screen time. but I do love that they kind of gave anybody who's a fan of the Mondstadt characters this event to at least get that fix for this year, and then maybe they'll have something next year as well, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe every region will have events like this where everybody from that region plays a big role, which would be kind of cool, you know what I mean? But they did a great job with this, not to mention the actual the event 5-star spear, the Wind Misses Spear, is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great attack stick, and it gives you really good EM too, especially since you can get it for free to Refinement 5. I believe it gives like 96 EM when it's max level, and it can give like 24% extra attack from its passive as well. Whenever, I'm not sure if it's when you use a skill, I have to double check, but it's a good spear. I personally don't really use it all that much, but if you have it for Cyno, some people I know are using it for Shenhe. Some people I know are even using it for their Zhangling because they're too lazy to farm the catch. So it really just comes down to preference, whoever you are, but it actually is a pretty useful spear. So I do recommend that you level it up this patch just so that you could save materials on it and just have it ready in case you get a future character that you just, you know, throw it to. It's not a bad spear at all, but overall, this event has been pretty good. I have enjoyed it for the anniversary event. I wonder what region of focus is going to get the next anniversary event. If I personally had to guess, I would probably say Liyue or Sumeru, but we'll have to wait and see. At that time, Fontaine will probably be out, so we're definitely going to have to see what's happening. Oh, yeah. And as Brayden said, yeah, you can actually see some of your favorite characters and discuss with them even more for around the world, actually. I think the characters that you can find around the world are Venti, Lisa, Diluc, Sucrose. I can't remember who the other two were. Razor, for sure, and Rosaria. Yeah, there's 6 of them. So you can find those 6 around the world. If any of those characters are your favorite after you finish the event, you can go and discuss with them, and they actually have a few extra voice lines, and they talk about Varka a bit too. So yeah, if you're interested in learning a bit about Varka, I do recommend you go scour Mondstadt and find those characters as well, because they share a little bit of extra information. Now, moving on to the next topic, we got to talk about Cyno. Yes, we got to talk about this boy. So, I will say that it seems to be a big consensus by the community that Cyno is not that good. It's not that he's not good enough to clear content, it's just that he's not that great, especially when compared to already established Electro characters, such as Keqing, Raiden Shogun. Especially Keqing. A lot of people have been very, very upset because Keqing outperforms him in aggravate team comps. Now, I will say this, that Keqing does actually, you know, outperform the boy in many, many ways, especially when it comes to aggravate team comps. She has access to way more AoE due to her elemental burst. She's a much better driver for Fischl due to the fact that she can proc aggravates non-stop, also thanks to her burst. She has way easier cooldowns to use, and plus with Thundering Fury, her skill uptime is basically infinite. So, I will give Fischl that. Keqing that. She has been dominant in the new meta thanks to Dendro's establishment, and Cyno did fall a bit short. I will agree there, but I do feel like a lot of people are only looking at the aggravate focused teams when they should also be giving Cyno a bit more of an edge in Quick Bloom. Now, I don't know how many people actually know about a Quick Bloom composition, but basically it's making use of Quicken and Bloom at the same time and having Cyno trigger aggravates and Hyper Blooms. And Cyno, honestly, in my opinion, performs way better than Keqing in those team comps, but I mean, you would have to do some of your own personal testing. From my personal testing, he is done magnificently in that due to the fact that he has EM scaling and he can still get, his damage out of his attacks. But at the end of the day, a lot of the people, still feel that he's not that great, and he is going to need a bit more support in the future. I do agree with that, but until then, there's not really much we can do. However, while his, play style and gameplay meta leaves a bit to be desired, the character is dope. I think we can all agree that this dude is dope as mess. The design is amazing. His elemental burst is easily one of the coolest. And I just love watching him use his 5th normal attack in that burst when he summons the freaking Thunder Spear and slams it into the ground. And his elemental skill is sick as well. But overall, Cyno has kind of hit the community with some mixed feelings, I will say that. But at the end of the day, I feel he's just going to need a bit of time. We'll have to see what other characters come out within the Dendro element, and hopefully someone is able to help him out in the long term, especially with his long cooldowns. But I believe Cyno, with a bit of time, will be able to perform way, way better than he is now, and we'll just have to wait until then. All right, so let's talk about Candace. I'm gonna be real. I've, for the longest time, had no idea how to properly use Candace. For the most part, I felt like she was supposed to be just another Yunjin, but I kind of learned over time that Candace is a bit more than that in her own way. Now, one of the major things I've been seeing people do is using Candace in combination with Xingqiu in order to get an ungodly amount of hydro application. Like, you're already telling me that Xingqiu has really good hydro application, and then you're just telling me that you want to give him more. So that has actually been a really, really good duo for her plus Xingqiu. I have seen it actually rise up, and it's even comparable to team comps of similar builds where you have Candace replaced with Kazuha, and the Candace team still outperforms the Kazuha team in some instances. So it's been eye-opening how well Candace fits into certain niche compositions, but I will say that I did not expect her to be able to replace Kazuha and make a team perform even better in certain situations. Now, that's not saying that she's just better than Kazuha, no. It's legit within specific team compositions. But when you find a place that she fits in, she does her job, and she is good at it. So I will give her that 100%. But other than that, I will have to say that Candace is very, very much welcome addition to the game. I know a lot of people have, been questioning where to really put her team comp wise, but I think I can say for the most part, a lot of people have enjoyed her design and really enjoyed her demo too. And I've seen a lot of people just going for her just to have her in case her future compositions are actually pretty good in the long run. So I can't wait to see how she's really implemented, but dang man, she's gorgeous. I think we can all agree on that too. Like, this 3.1 patch, especially the first half, Cyno was easily one of the coolest characters, and Candace was just beautiful. So the characters aesthetically are amazing for this first half. And Nilo's not even out yet, or Nilu. You see, I'm still trying to figure out how to say that. So that's on me. I tried to go to some character voice lines to figure out how to say it. Nobody said her name this patch. So I was just sitting there like, dang man, I don't know how to say it. Oh man, but yeah, I also enjoyed the aesthetic of the Hydro Shield as well. I felt Candace is for quick swap NA, Candace is Goblet for quick swap teams if I had to guess. No, Candace is definitely made for quick swap compositions, but at the same time, she's actually just like really, really good with characters like Xingqiu to drive up the hydro application even further while giving him some on-field status. And she actually helps increase the team's defensive capabilities due to the fact that you can just switch to her and block whatever incoming damage is coming your team's way. And you can block it while having rain swords on you as well. So that's just more damage mitigation. It's kind of a win-win at the end of the day. So she really has a lot going for her, which I didn't think that she did at face value. But I mean, once you give a character enough time, you kind of find out what they're going to do. I mean, we've done this before for Bennett, we've done this before for Kokomi, so that's why I really try not to judge characters off the bat and maybe even give them like a patch or two to kind of find their stride, because it usually sometimes just takes something random for somebody to find a character, you know, true purpose in the game. So yeah, I don't know if Ganyu suffered that, man. Ganyu came out the gates running. I don't remember people complaining about Ganyu. Ganyu came out the gates running. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on. So we got to talk about the character coming soon. Very, very soon. So, as many of you guys may be excited to know, Nilo is going to be here in less than a week now. She's going to be here, what is it? Friday? Friday for me, Saturday for some other peeps. It just depends on where you live. Actually, no, it should be Friday for everybody. Yeah, it's Friday for everybody. Because other peeps will be getting it before me. Man, it feels bad to be NA. But real talk. Nilo, I enjoyed her character teaser. It was really down to earth, but at the same time, it really showed what she appreciates. And I have to say that Nilo's whole vibe kind of feels different from the other characters within Genshin Impact. Because like normally when we run into a new character, right? They're like something special, like, oh, the leader of the Forest Rangers, or a merchant that's like super well known, or maybe even the General Mahamatra. And then there's Nilo. It's like just a performer, dancer for the Subara's theater. And I'm not saying that there's anything like lackluster about it, but you know how the theater is treated there in Sumeru. But it really does just feel nice to have a character that's kind of more down to earth and more, you know, relatable in some aspects. So, as a question of playstyle, her multipliers or a charge attack make Ganyu a league of her own. Oh yeah, that's facts. Ingenuity, that's facts. But I will have to say, Nilo's kit is going to be very, very interesting. So, her elemental skill has two different forms. Basically, you have one where it can be used to infuse your normal attack damage to make it hydro, and she can be used as an on-field DPS, or you can spam her elemental skill like crazy until you get a pool of water that will surround her, helping apply hydro to enemies surrounding your current active character. And it's basically used to help, you know, do bloom like crazy. And I have to say that Nilo's whole, you know, mechanic of different skill types is kind of really cool, due to the fact that it's not a typical like hold and tap, but instead it's actually like, okay, you start the skill off with the one button and then you choose how you're going to end it. Do you want to do the combo that makes you into a DPS, or do you want to do the combo that makes you do hella broom reactions? It's up to you. And I actually really do like that, but I am worried about the restrictions for her main go-to team, which is a Bloom team. So if you guys don't already know, Nilo is locked to a team of pure Hydro and Dendro characters, and you have to have at least one of each element, and you can have no other elements in order to earn the enhanced Bloom cores. I think they're called like Golden Chalice cores or something. But basically, these things just blow up really quick, and they do extra damage based on Nilo's max HP. So, the thing is this. I love that we have a character coming into the game that is going to modify a reaction. I feel like this is something that can definitely be built upon for future characters. Like, imagine Dia coming in and modifying Burning or modifying Burgeon. Or even future characters coming in and modifying like Superconduct or Electrocharge, you know what I mean? Overload. That would be really, really cool, having characters that can kind of take those reactions to a whole new level and make it their own. And I feel like that is definitely something Hoyoverse should do, but I don't believe that this heavy restriction that Nilo faces should be something that every character has that brings this format to into the future. Personally, I would have preferred if Nilo had some kind of increment increase based on how many characters on your team are Hydro and Dendro. So of course, you have to have her and a Dendro character in order to even get the base effect. But then maybe if you put more and more characters on your team that were Hydro and Dendro, you could get like stronger Golden Chalice blooms. And maybe if you could swap in like a Cryo character, you still get the, you know, instant explosion of the Golden Chalice blooms, but the scaling won't be as high as if you fully commit to the team. So I feel like that's just a fair compromise. You give up a little bit of power, but you gain a little bit more flexibility for your team compositions. Personally, that's how I would have gone about it. Some other suggestions were maybe decreasing the instantaneous explosion of the bloom cores based on how many characters there are. There's honestly a lot of different ways to go about it. I just feel like it shouldn't be locked to such a restricted team. Now, does this mean that I think Nilo is going to be a horrible character? No. But part of the problem that arises from this team restriction is this. There's not that many Dendro characters right now. And personally, I wouldn't really just get Nilo in order to play a Bloom-focused team with the characters that we have access to as of now. Sure, we can sit here and be like, well, Nahida's coming out. She might fix the problem. She might. But that's the key word, might. We don't know 100% for sure if Nahida's going to make Nilo super viable or if Nahida's even going to work with her. You know what I mean? So it's gambling on the future. A lot of people have been suggesting, oh yeah, if you want to get Nilo, you're probably better off skipping her and waiting until more Dendro characters come out, and then based on whoever's out, if there's somebody good for her, then get Nilo. And honestly, I'm kind of the same sentiment. I'm not telling you that you have to get, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't get her, but what I am trying to say is just be careful and don't get her based on future assumptions that she's going to get better. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't know how Nahida, Alhaitham, or whoever else comes out, Yao Yao, Baizu, whoever else comes out, how they're going to interact with this character or if they're even going to make it worthwhile. But I will say this though, if you are a fan of Bloom damage and Bloom reactions and you're going to play the crap out of that team comp anyway, this is your girl, 100%. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Yes, if you want to play around Bloom, this is the ideal character for you to get, you know? But at the same time, if you're not sure that she's really worth it, you might be better off saving. At the end of the day, it really does come down to you. Personally, I would say this at least. If you were going to get Nilo, make sure you get Nahida, because that's probably going to be a safe bet. An Archon is an Archon. Archons are usually really safe to go with, and if Nahida is anything like we hope she is, she should be able to help Dendro out immensely. So that's the one thing I will say. If that is something that you can do, go for it. If it's something you can't do and you can only guarantee Nilo, then maybe you should avoid her until Nahida, you know, is secured and then get her on a rerun. Now, okay, Chris Sanchez, let's see what you drop in here. Oi, final, do your best. I see 6 Dory pocket. Yo, congrats on the C6 Dory. Really, and also greatly appreciate the $2. Also, thanks for the shout out. 100%. So I believe her bloom mechanic is still going to hurt whoever is near it, but you remember that it's only going to be 5% of the actual total damage. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, especially with the instantaneous blooms, especially since she's going to be doing more damage too. So you're probably going to need a healer. And yeah, Ingenuity, I definitely get it. You're a fan of trying different play styles. So if you want to get her and try her in the trials, do it 100%. I guess that's one of the cool things about her too. She's going to be like super high novelty. And I know a lot of people are going to like that because she's different. She's not like everybody else. She brings her own niche to the game. and she modifies a reaction. And I know a lot of people are not going to want to miss out on that, but you know, I'm just trying to give you the best advice I can. At the end of the day, if you want her, get her. I'm not going to step in your way, but I do recommend, if you do plan to get her, make sure you can at least get Nahida. That's all I want to say, okay? Make sure you can get Nahida, because Nahida's probably going to be a safe bet in making this girl better. That's all I really want to say. Oh, also, you probably need Kokomi too. You might need Kokomi. But yeah, that's all I really want to say on the Nilo situation. We'll have to find out if what I said is even true or false in, you know, next week. Yeah, it should be next week. So I will find out in Teyvat Hangout episode 16 if what I said is true or if what I said is false. So we'll find out soon. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about some future characters. Brayden, I get everybody, so don't worry. I want to talk about Layla. Layla. I know everybody's been. I've seen a lot of people. Talking about they want to be taking naps with Layla. Oh man, it's funny. It's funny how down bad people can get for these Genshin characters, but at the same time, I ain't judging. But yeah, Layla looks dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I finally saw her design, I was sitting there like, dang, okay. She got the whole, like, you know, tired student character type. I can understand why people are really, really fond of this character. Not to mention that her thesis has to do with, I think, astrology. So I know a lot of people are hoping that her and Mona actually interact in the future and we get some kind of like crazy star themed event. Actually, that'd be pretty dope. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That sounds amazing. I would definitely want Layla to hang out with Mona for a mission. That would be amazing. But I digress. This character's design is really, really cool. Not to mention, she's an elf. So I'm hoping with the release of Layla, maybe we can finally figure out what the official name for the elf race is within Genshin. Now, I know a lot of us assume that, oh, the elf race name is elf, but you know, I just really want to know what the name is, because like for Diona, we learned that it was the cat's line. And well, we haven't really learned what the deal with Goro and Sucrose is yet, but it would be nice to get like the official term and just see if we can actually get the name of the elf race so that we can, you know, actually put a name to the face. But overall, I love Layla's aesthetic. The fact that Cryo is getting themselves a new character is pretty dope as well. Not to mention, you guys are still gonna get, y'all, man, Dia's not a cat. That is just hair. But y'all are gonna get Mika too. Ooh, man, Cryo's actually eating good this patch. But yeah, Layla and Mika later, so you Cryo mains are definitely having a good time. I'm kind of envious. I'm still waiting for my Pyro character this patch. Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. So yeah, man, I know you are not talking about Cryo hasn't had anything since Shenhe. I haven't had anything since Toma. Dang, man. I'm sitting here crying. It's gonna be over a year. Oh man, but no, Layla looks amazing. And it seems like you guys are really looking forward to Layla as well. So that's really, really good. All right. Yes, the girl of the hour. The character that everybody is going to probably try to get their hands on because she has worked her way into all of our hearts through this Archon Quest series, Nahida. And let me tell you, the Dendro Archon is dope. Easily my favorite Archon out of the Archons we know. So that's not including Pyro. I don't want you guys coming out here being like, oh my god, Final's favorite Archon is the Dendro Archon and not Murata. Nah, don't even try to play that. This is my favorite Archon out of the 4 we know in game. All right. So, but yeah, Nahida is easily my favorite. She has her whole like outlook and the way that she cares for her citizens has been really, really refreshing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nothing against like Raiden. Well, actually, Raiden kind of effed up. But real talk. Nahida has really grown on me as a character. Even though she wasn't like one of my favorite Archons visually, her personality has been amazing. Easily one of the best. So this character is definitely gonna get summoned on by me. And I don't know if that's the case for all of you, but I would assume that you guys are also planning on getting Nahida too. A good chunk of you, not all of you, but a good chunk of you. So I can't wait to join. I am not about to C6 Nahida. You need to chill. you need to chill. I ain't C6 Nahida. But yeah, I am really looking forward to this character's release. Hopefully, Nahida comes out and actually shakes up the Dendro meta. I have very, very high hopes because she is the Dendro Archon, so she should be the golden standard at the end of the day. She should be the, you know, the thing that we use to measure every other future Dendro character and past Dendro character from this point on. So we will see how she turns out, but I have very, very high hopes for this character. So I cannot wait until she is finally released. I just cannot. But Nahida's definitely worked her way into my heart, and I cannot wait to summon for this girl. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about the Genshin Impact anime. So, personally, I'm a fan of it because they finally did it. They finally started working on an anime with Studio Ufotable of all people. But I want to know, you guys in the chat, like, how are you guys feeling about the Genshin Impact anime? Do you feel like it's a waste to just cover the Mondstadt chapter that we've already done in game? Do you feel like they should have done something else, like maybe the Archon War, or even what happened in Conria, or even some of these other stories we hear about within the Genshin Impact lore that we don't really get to experience through the main story? I just want to know how you guys are feeling about it personally. So, animation style better be like the manga. I'm hoping the character design changes just a little. Yeah, I can understand that 100%. We'll probably watch it, hope it covers side stories, maybe, yeah. Okay, wait until we get more info about the show. Yeah, we can definitely wait. I mean, there's nothing wrong about, just, theorizing a little bit. I don't care about it, just hope it's not a recap. Maybe a prologue would be cool, though. Personally, I think it's going to cover most of the Mondstadt story, but I do feel like they're going to have to change some aspects of this in order to make it a better watch for consumers. Because let's be real, if they just do everything we did, like exactly what we did for the Mondstadt story, it's not going to be very much fun to watch. I can say that right now. But if they sit there, they animate, add a little twists, turns, a little spins, while keeping the main story, but making it a little bit more entertaining of an experience, I can definitely see it being a worthwhile watch. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of it will come down to budgeting, but we do have, Studio Ufotable, the same people who did the Fate series, Demon Slayer. We'll see how much Hoyoverse is willing to cough over. Hopefully a bunch, because we've been lining their pockets. But I have hopes for it. Right now, I don't think we should really take that, the program trailer as the final product. I feel like that's just something they threw together in order to, have it ready for the anniversary and present it to the players. I mean, the backgrounds looked amazing. I will say that. I feel like the character designs could be a little cleaner, but at the same time, the only one that we only saw like 3 characters. Paimon was flying through the forest, and these 2 are basically just standing there. So it's kind of hard to really judge it, especially action. Let's be real. Ufotable is amazing when it comes to action scenes. So I am expecting a lot of best anime fight moments of the year whenever this whenever this thing releases. I want Genshin Impact anime to have one of the top 10 best anime fight moments of the year. So, Ufotable, if you can make that happen, I'm already happy. Just having like one epic fight. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. We'll see, but we'll see how it turns out. I feel like it's just gonna be a waiting game. It can honestly take a year. It could take 2 years. They didn't really give us a timeline on when this is going to be released. It's just going to be a long-term project. But, you know, hopefully with Ufotable we're starting up on the new Demon Slayer season, maybe we can squeeze in right after that and get our show going. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. Now, that is not what I was supposed to cut to. Wait, where's the rest of my stuff? Huh? Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, wait. There's something else we have to talk about. Something very, very important. Okay. So, you guys know, as you guys really already know, the GameSpot article, right? It's been causing a lot of drama within the Genshin space. Some players are for what was in the article, some players are against, some people don't care, some people care a lot. You know what I mean? I want to kind of just get your guys' opinion and consensus on how you guys feel about it. Personally, I've reached the point where I just really don't care anymore. I've already kind of known that Hoyoverse wasn't really catering to the combat aspects of Endgame that I was hoping for. And I don't think it's about being a try-hard or being a casual, because the thing is this, at the end of the day, combat has been something that has been integrated into the game, and you cannot say that the game does not also revolve around the combat system. Combat is just as much an equal part of this game as exploration, as storytelling. You know what I mean? Combat has been integrated into it to such a point that we literally use the resin that we get every day in order to improve our characters. And improving our characters does what? Makes them stronger in combat. And we literally have to fight like half the time whenever we do anything within the world. But I'm not going to sit here and harp on that aspect really too much. So I just want to see how you guys feel. Sarah says, don't really care. Zombie's out here getting some anxiety. Sorry for asking you, Zombie. Band is out here. I'm a Genshin wannabe tryhard. That's fair, you know. But I do feel that a lot of people are too focused on the aspect that only tryhards want combat endgame at this point, you know? I do feel that combat is something that I would say most people in Genshin actually enjoy. And it does kind of affect everybody that enjoys the combat system. But at the same time, not everybody cares about only combat. So it's kind of interesting how polarizing this whole GameSpot interview has kind of made the community. And hopefully, you know, everything dies down. Personally, I don't even really know how much I trust the interview myself, because there's still some factors about it that just don't seem to sit right with me. And some people might say, oh, you're just on copium, you just don't want it to be true. I've accepted if, you know, everything in the interview is true already. But at the same time, there's just some things about it that don't seem right. And I don't really know how to really say it, but like, get an email interview with a random developer that you don't even have the name to. You know what I mean? And then also the answers being released. It doesn't seem like a sensible PR move on Hoyoverse's account. There's just a few things that it's like, I don't really know how to feel about this interview or if it's even really, real. But yeah. So, Soccer Card, the article is making me hate the word anxiety. I think most read it wrong. They didn't say no endgame. They said no abyss-like meaning. If they do anything new, it will not share mechanics of abyss, just like Vagabond and Hypostasis event. That's fair. C6 to just get flame effect on day. Flame main. It kind of shows that Hoyoverse never listens to the stuff people write in the survey they sent. True. Exactly, Final. It's sketchy to me. Yeah. They described combat when they defined the abyss. That's true. So they meant they won't add combat style. Oh, okay. Hey, at the end of the day, it really comes down to, how whatever they do. Hopefully, personally, I'm a big fan of Genshin Combat. So maybe in a year or two, they do eventually add some more Genshin Combat-based endgame. Not really saying it has to be time attack, but hey, whatever they want to do, I'm down to, enjoy it. But I will say I'm looking forward to Genius Invocation TCG. Can't wait to try that out and, probably get sent to the Shadow Realm a few times by some peeps. It's always funny because in my head, I like to think I'm amazing at card games, but then when I actually start playing the card game, it's like, dang, man, you're kind of trash. So, looking forward to that. Gonna see how that really turns out. Can't wait to see how Genius Invocation ends up being implemented. I believe it's coming in patch 3.2. I'm not really 100% sure. I guess we'll find out very soon when we start getting the patch notes for the upcoming patch. That would be really great. Or actually the patch preview. Patch preview should be, I think it's about 2 weeks. A little bit less than 2 weeks away. 1 week after Nihlu's banner comes out. Yeah, patch preview should be 1 week after Nihlu's banner comes out. So we'll find out very soon, actually. That's pretty good. I'm actually happy about that. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming by, hanging out, and, chilling with me in another Teyvat Hangout. Hopefully, I have a new guest star for next Teyvat Hangout. I haven't really been setting up guest stars right now since I'm just trying to get back in the flow of doing this again, especially now that I don't have Valk. And hopefully it wasn't unenjoyable. I hope you guys enjoyed this Teyvat Hangout, and I hope you guys will also show up to the future ones. I am looking forward to doing these more. It should be actually a little bit easier to get them out now, especially since I'll be the only host. But yeah, the main reason, again, there's no drama or anything between me and Valk. It's just Valk has moved on from Genshin Impact, and I don't want to really keep dragging him back to cover Genshin Impact if he doesn't really care about the game. I much rather let him do his own thing that he's passionate about, and maybe find somebody else who's passionate about Genshin like me, and we could talk about that every weekend. But until then, I will be, trying to get the Teyvat Hangouts back on course, doing them every week, and get some guest stars up in here so we can have very, very interesting conversations for you guys to enjoy, and also, get some questions with some of your favorite content creators on this channel, because I know you guys have quite a few people you're interested in. And also, if you guys have somebody that you want to guest star on the Teyvat Hangout that isn't a mega big YouTuber that I can't possibly get at this moment, please, feel free to, DM me on Discord or send me a message in the YouTube comments. I make sure to read those. So if you have anybody of interest that you think I can actually get on the show, podcast, and, could be as a guest star, let me know. I will try and reach out to them and see if they're interested. 100%. All right. But other than that, I am working on something very, very big for November 5th. It's going to be coming soon. It's going to be the Teyvat Summit. Yes, the Teyvat Summit. It's going to be bigger than the normal Teyvat Hangout. The Teyvat Summit is going to be happening on my buddy FlowCat's channel. I have been getting Valk, Erotic Walrus, Gmo, Further Beyond Gaming, trying to get Hydro Sam. I've gotten FlowCat. I've gotten quite a few other content creators, and it's going to be a big podcast with like hopefully 10 content creators all together, and we're going to sit there and talk about Genshin for the past 2 years, and it's something we are hoping to do at least every year, maybe twice a year. We'll see how that turns out, but it's going to be a big event that we are going to be doing on November 5th. I'll be sharing more and more details as we get closer to that event. So look forward to that. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of content creators. It's going to be a dope time. And we're just going to like share our opinions, discuss Genshin, and make it all a really great time for everybody that watches. So look forward to that. I will be having more and more details as we get closer. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in comments below, DMs. Even if you have somebody that you think should be included, we are still looking for like a few more content creators, so feel free to message me about that too. Other than that though, I want to thank you guys for coming by, hanging out. Greatly appreciate every single last one of you guys. And remember, Embers, to keep burning bright. And until next time, Latom. All right? So you guys take it easy. I will talk to you guys in the next Teyvat Hangout and future videos. So just make sure you guys have a wonderful day. And again, thank you guys for coming out and supporting the stream. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.